We have a very special celebrity guest who will be with us shortly, so stay tuned. Now, please welcome Peter Lerman, Wonder's chief composer, Eunice Sachi, Wonder's master inventor, and Christina Corona, Wonder's head of film. Eunice, let's start with you. How on earth does this work?
Yeah, so music on the internet rarely exists in a vacuum. We want it to live in synchrony with our videos, our presentations, our pitches, even our workouts. So the central goal of our AI is basically to take an original composition and, in a sense, make it infinitely adaptive to whatever timings it needs to observe. It is the heart, the essence of what takes a static music piece and converts it into a dynamic music engine. And the way we do this is that we actually we decompose original compositions into their fundamental building blocks, musical phrases, morphones as we call them. And the job of the AI is to then recompose the piece in a way that optimizes a music coherence score. And the way it does the optimization is, interestingly, via direct reinforcement from professional musicians.
And so does that sort of generate a MIDI file, or how does that work?
Yeah, actually, it does generate a MIDI file, but that's not where it ends. Another big part of Dynascore is, once you've given a MIDI file, it just needs to sound ridiculously good. We want it to sound ridiculously good. So it needs to be so good, in fact, that you need to not be able to tell that it was done by a computer. It should sound professionally produced in a studio. That's our goal. To that end, we actually built a system that can play back hundreds, if not thousands, of virtual instruments. And we combined it with a system that does mixing and mastering using drawing techniques from digital signal processing and machine learning. The key takeaway is Dynascore can produce a mastered audio file for you fully automatically and fully on demand. That's the key thing.
So Peter, let's turn to you. Who's composing these pieces and how does that work?
So with the shutdown of the film, TV, and theater industries this year, we had a unique opportunity to hire the finest musicians in the world to create the music of Dynascore. And we actually have a team of incredible musicians who have created Dynascores across many genres, including cinematic music, folk music, EDM, hip hop. And our goal is really to create music that is emotionally satisfying and truly moving.
And how are they actually creating the compositions?
Well, music libraries host static, complete wave files that you download and take as is. Dynascore hosts the instruments. So when you hatch a track, our engine plays the music back to you. And in that moment, creates a brand new master recording that's custom and bespoke to you. Now, in order to do that, our musicians take special musical considerations. And they, instead of writing in a linear fashion from start to finish, they write in a modular way that we call our block system. And our block system allows us to rearrange and recompose music in unlimited ways. And we do this using our music coherence engine, which simulates traditional musical editing techniques, such as cutting beats musically, speeding up and slowing down, repeating certain musical phrases, and also introducing natural human tempo variation using BPM smoothing. It's a little bit like composing music in 3D.
So that works for the compositions that you create. What about the masterworks that are already out there?
Well, in addition to our living composers, we've analyzed and broken down the works of Beethoven, Bach, Mozart, and many others. And we have a collection of the greatest pieces of Western music available as dynamic scores, ready to be a perfect fit for the soundtrack to your video.
How do you think Beethoven would feel about that?
I think Beethoven would be pretty upset. But if he saw that Bach and Mozart were into it and involved, I think he would want to be involved too.
Got it. And what about royalties, right? I understand it's unrestricted and royalty-free, but certainly the estates of these people must get involved on that side.
So just like you can perform, edit, modify the work of Shakespeare, these works are in the public domain, so we can bring the classics into the future.
Got it. So Christina, tell us about your role in making Dynascore.
Yeah, so the first time I saw the app, I thought, this is incredible technology. But as a producer and as an editor, I knew we had to integrate it somehow in the existing post-production workflows. And the best place to start for that was Adobe Premiere. And so we partnered with Adobe, who's an incredible partner, to essentially create an extension for Premiere where editors can edit Dynascores at a frame level. And so for all those non-video editors out there, editing at a frame level becomes incredibly important with the precision of video. So if you think of a commercial, at the end of it, the logo pops up and a musical bump hits at the same exact time. So if that musical bump is 2 frames off, it'll feel completely out of place. And so we've allowed for them to do that in Dynascore.
Gotcha. So are all of the features of the app also in the Premiere Pro extension?
Yeah, so it was also super important to me to not have the editors leave Premiere. So you're able to search the entire library, select songs, preview them, edit them, and place them in your timeline without ever having to leave Premiere itself.
Gotcha. Eunice, is that a dinosaur bow tie you're wearing?
It sure is.
Okay,
We
great.
just love dinosaurs.
All right, good.
Dinosaur. Unsurprisingly.
Gotcha. Let's get back to you for a second. This sounds impossibly hard.
I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty hard. And we all just started as like any old AI music outfit. We scraped MIDI from the internet, put it all into a model, crossed our fingers, and see what came out. We saw what came out, and many times the output was just like terrible. But even if you could cherry picked one MIDI that actually was decent and tried to render it, right? I mean, the output of the music, the audio would sound like it was just from a cheap computer game. So we actually, I mean, the TLDR is basically, 100% AI music is just embarrassingly bad compared to what, human producers can produce. So we actually started having breakthroughs, honestly, when we started recognizing the limitations of AI and started instead focusing our efforts on combining the incredible human ingenuity and creativity with the amazing optimization powers of AI. And that's when we started getting results. And I think we had our aha moment when we could take a very complicated piece involving hundreds of instruments, recompose it to actually fit the timings, make it sound musical, and make it sound ridiculously good. I was like, we're done. We're off to the races here. It's going to be nuts. So
It's true. It was a breakthrough moment when we realized that we should combine the finest musical craftsmanship with machine learning. That's when we realized we had something really special.
And I think for me, it was one thing to have this amazing music engine, but when we decided to create an interface on top of it for video creators to actually use it, that was when it became really real.
I think that's a perfect place to leave it. Thank you so much for helping us understand how Dynascore was created.